Hi class, this is course 2, lesson 33, comparing and rounding decimal numbers. Okay, so to compare or order decimal numbers, first we need to line up the decimal and compare the place value of the digits. So we have these three decimal numbers: 125 thousandths, 12 hundredths, and 12 thousandths. And what we can do is to write them so that the decimal is aligned, or the decimal is lined up. Okay, so once you have that done, then what you need to do is compare each place value so that you have to see which one is bigger than the other, or wins, I guess you could say. So look at the ones column, and they are all zeros, so we can't do anything there. So now we're going to go to the tenths column, and we're going to see what we have. So we have 1, 1, and 0. So we know that this number would come first in a list because it is smaller. So if we wanted to line these up from least to greatest, the number with no tenths would be smaller than a number with 1/10. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get that one out of here because that one comes first no matter what. Now we look at the next place. So we're going to look at the hundredth place, and we see that they are both 2s. So I need to go to the next place value. So in the thousandths place, see that we have nothing here, and if it makes it easier for you, you can put in zeros as placeholders. So now you're looking at comparing 0 thousandths with 5 thousandths, and 0 is less than 5, so we can put the 12 hundredths next and the 125 thousandths third. So if this were a problem in your paper and it said to list them from least to greatest, that's what you would do. If it was one where it said, 2, and you said which one was bigger or which one was smaller, you do the same process. It's just that you use the comparison symbol. Okay, if we want to round decimal numbers to the nearest hundredth or nearest thousandth, whatever it is, first we have to identify what the place is that we are rounding to. So the hundredth place is the second one, so it's going to be here, this 0, and then we would circle the next digit, so the 6, and then all these after the circled digit, they don't matter anymore. And based on the 6, does the 0 stay a 0 or does it become a 1? And remember that is, if this number is 5 or greater, we're going to bump it up. So we would write this number as 2.4, and then the 0 becomes a 1, and then that's it. Now you might be tempted, when we have whole numbers, we have to put zeros, right, to fill in the rest of the numbers, so that we'd have this 6, 3, 8, 5. They all become zeros. But because we're talking about decimal numbers, we no longer need those. So your correct answer would be 2 and 41 hundredths. And when you round to the correct place value, when you say that, notice I said 2 and 41 hundredths. I needed to round to the nearest hundredth. That matched when I said 41 hundredths. So I know that I rounded it to the correct place. Now I could have still made a mistake with the rounding, but I'm going to hope that I did a good job. And we know that this is correct anyway. So trailing zeros are not needed. In fact, you need to get in the habit, if you have trailing zeros and there's no additional number, that you do not put the zeros there. You need to also watch out for the difference between the number 100 or hundredth. So if I asked you to round 2, 3, 6, 4 decimal point 1139. If I asked you to round this to the nearest hundred would be here, not here. Okay, remember 100 or 1,000 are on the left side, of the decimal, and hundredth, tenth, thousandth, those are all on the right side. Okay, just in case we wanted to try this, let's round this to the nearest hundred. We would have 2, 6 makes the 3 become a 4, 2400, and then that's where the decimal is, and so I don't need to make these zeros. We would just write the number 2400. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Short and sweet, and hopefully this is review, so you shouldn't have many questions, but if you do, feel free to ask.